Hey everyone, this is Ariel of After Dark Gaming. I'm here today with Mike Z of Reverge Labs. Hey Mike.
Hi. What's up?
So today he was nice enough to take the time out of walking out of Wednesday night fights and talking with us about Skullgirls. Just had a few questions for you, Mike.
Sure.
So do you plan on supporting the game with patches after release? And if so, will they be balanced patches or only patches to fix bugs?
We do plan on supporting the game with patches, certainly, but my philosophy on balance patches is very seldom and very little. Otherwise, let the game evolve first, right? If you change something, if it comes out and in 2 weeks everybody's saying, well, this thing is totally overpowered, nobody's had a chance to find counters to it yet, nobody's had a chance to figure out whether it's really overpowered, whether you ended up with something like Air Hyper Viper Beam or you just ended up with Ice Beam, you know? Like, if you patch Ice Beam, he's terrible 2 months later anyway. If you patch AHVB, it might have actually helped, but you have to wait long enough to see whether it's really good or to see whether it's a knee-jerk reaction from people that don't want to learn how to block, for example.
Right.
So definitely patches for, like, bugs that crash the game or, that remove control from the player or anything like that. Hopefully there won't be any of them, but, if there are, those will definitely be taken care of. As far as balance goes, if it needs it, I'll do it, but it's a very critical eye and very small changes, right? If you need to nerf someone, take their damage down by 3%, because it makes a huge difference. It's cumulative over the course of the match, like all that kind of stuff. And definitely know, oh my god, Cerebell is overpowered on the first day. I pick her because everybody says she's going to be because I'm making the game. Like, definitely know, oh my god, this character's so good, we have to patch it right now. Definitely letting the game evolve and letting players figure out counters to things and counters to the counters, right. And then possibly the real thing is actually very good. But only after a suitable period of time has elapsed. And definitely none of the, like, every week changing things just slightly enough that it's not worth learning any combos, right? If you learn a tactic and it's obsolete 2 weeks later, so you learn a new one, but that's obsolete 2 weeks later, it's okay for balance. It's not great for the people that actually want to get better at the game.
Right, definitely. With regards to difficulty of executing combos, what game would you most closely relate Skullgirls to?
It depends, because the basic stuff is pretty easy, like any versus game, Blaze Blue, easy, right? Weak punch, medium punch, hard punch, jump, weak punch, medium punch, hard kick, that kind of thing. If you want to go beyond that, it's pretty technical. It's definitely not required technical like Guilty Gear has, where you have to hit FRCs within 3 frames or whatever in order to be able to play your character at all. But there are lots of things like figuring out when to push block, figuring out how to reset, how to call assists during the middle of combos, since assists are 2 buttons. It can get pretty technical, but at the base level, especially if you're playing a single character, it's definitely not that hard.
Okay. Are you planning on balancing any characters to be stronger as an assist but weaker on point?
We can't really do that in this game because you can choose anything you want as an assist. So if you give a character a good move, they're not going to not have it as an assist, even if we don't give it to them right off the bat, because you can use custom assists, so players can just go give it to them anyway. And since we have custom assists, we're also not doing the thing where you only have this move as an assist or it works differently as an assist, anything like that. We're pretty much balancing it toward everybody being viable as a point character. It's another reason we didn't go with the selectable ratios if you choose like 2 characters, so you can't pick one really strong character and one very weak character that would just be the assist, because it kind of sucks to get down to the end of like a match in Marvel 2 when the person is just playing as Cyclops or Psylocke or Capcom and has no idea how to actually play that character, right? We want everybody to be useful. If you snap someone in, it's to molest them when they come in, but they're definitely not just going to stand there and get killed.
That's good. So when you design the playstyle of your characters, do you choose to mostly follow common fighting game archetypes, or do you design character styles from the ground up?
We pretty much go from the ground up. The cool thing about the way that we design our characters is the artists actually have massive brainstorms and give me like 3 weeks worth of images, like 400 or 500 images of things a character would do. And I mean, it'll be, they're reading a book in some of them, or like going to the grocery store. But then, for example, Cerebella ended up with a ton of I'm grabbing people by the head and slamming them around. Peacock ended up with a lot of I'm throwing things at you from far away. That sort of determines the basic archetype that the character is going to have. But past how I kind of want them to be played. This character is runaway. This is a zoner. This is a trap character. It comes down to, once they have 2 or 3 of the special moves, what do they need to fill the gaps and be useful in all areas, right? There's no one that's exceedingly weak up close because they're strong far away. Everybody has at least something that's a get-off-me move. Everybody has at least something that's useful from further away, because when you start getting into a character specifically designed around one archetype, you can counterpick a lot more easily, right? If they just have no way around the playstyle of some other character, then it doesn't matter how much damage you make them do or how much life you give them. They're just not going to win anyway. It's just going to take longer for them to lose.
Yeah, definitely. So do all the characters have the same life stamina, or does it vary at all?
Actually, right now, everyone has the same health. Everyone has the same defense. They obviously don't have the same damage output. But one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of other games, like if you go back to older games, everybody had the same amount of health. They started adding defense, I think it's like 10 or 15 years after the first couple of fighting games came out. For example, Super Turbo had random damage. I mean, that was done away with after that series. But one of the things that developers tend to do with increasing life or increasing damage is try to fix bad matchups that the character may have. So, for example, if I'm a rushdown character and I lose horrible to some zoner, right, and that matchup is, say, 6.5, 3.5, I might be able to fix it by giving the rushdown character a ton more life or a ton more damage. But if that matchup is like 8-2 or 9-1, it doesn't matter how much life they have or how much damage they do. They're never going to land that hit. It's just going to take them 10 years to lose. An easy example of that is like Tager versus New in BlazBlue, CT. He could have had 10 times the amount of life he had or killed her in one hit, and in 90% of the matches I played, it wouldn't have mattered at all. Because the thing that you need to do is look at the character and fix the matchup rather than just trying to alter the damage to give them an extra chance at hitting you or whatever. So instead of immediately changing the life that a character has or their defense, what we do is we look at why they're losing and we say, okay, they could really use a projectile reflect, or they could really use a teleport, or they could really use a Roman cancel or whatever else it is, and give the character more tools in their existing matchups rather than just trying to tweak it as in, this character is going to suck, but if we give them more life, they get more chances to not suck.
All right. Also, just to wrap things up a little bit, I'm just curious if Reverge Labs intends on being involved with tournament scene for Skullgirls after its release.
I actually don't know if I can answer that. I mean, I want to go to tournaments. I don't personally have the money to throw any. Maybe I will if Skullgirls does really well. But I can't really speak for the PR people, so it's mostly up to the people that are paying our nice salaries.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out talking with us.
Oh, I do know one thing, though. So I really want to enter tournaments for Skullgirls. I mean, the reason I'm making it is because I want to play it, but I've already been told by several major tournament organizers that I will be banned from anything that happens with the game, which is sort of sad. So I'll say this. If we throw our own tournament, I'm allowed to enter the thing. I'll probably not be able to win the prize, but I want to be able to play at least.
That's awesome. I feel you should. It's a great game.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm still going to play low tier.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for Skullgirls to come out. And it's coming out end of the year?
It's coming out end of the year is pretty much what we're saying at this point.
All right, great. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good answers, sir.
Yeah, really? I never know.
My arm was
brain is
getting, I was
off.
holding like this, and I'm like, God.
Sorry.
It's
I
not
could've
your
taken
fault.
it.
It's not your fault. No, it's okay.
Thing looks heavy.
It's okay.
Gotta weigh what, like